to breakout groups, and you've got to assign these. So don't randomly assign them. That means that everyone will be put into breakout groups. So do a custom assignment. Don't allow attendees to switch groups. We'll do that. And then usually you just name your group, whatever your name is, and you click start, and it's going to start us all in breakout groups. Okay, and does someone want to put up their hand? Actually, can I get maybe like Tara, do you want to put up your hand first and then maybe Vicky after that?
Yeah, sure. How do I put up my hand?
So just down the bottom, you can see my screen. There's a little raised hand here.
Oh, okay.
Great. Okay, great. So you can see here that it actually puts it in order of when your hand has been raised. So this is a really easy way to go. You always go to the top of the queue. So you go to share content, breakout groups, and then what you can do here is, so you go back, just double check, okay, maybe I want to, start marking Vicky. So you go to breakout groups, you go to show all, okay, and I'm going to drop Vicky down into my group here, and I'm also going to drop myself down. Okay, and when I hit update, I think my audio will cut out because Vicky and I will be in a new group. So we'll just do that and then we'll come back to the main. Okay, Vicky, is it just you and me?
Yes, I think so.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna move you back into the main group.
Yeah.
Tim is reconnecting. He will answer to your question, I guess.
Yeah, I think he went to the room.
Okay. So you can hear us while we're in the... Is everyone still here? Yep. So that's how it works. So I always usually just stay in my group unless I need to address the main room. I usually stay in my breakout group, and then I just drag people in and I drag people out as I see fit when they've been marked and not marked. And then you can just raise and lower their hand just so you go through the queue. But while you're in a group, nobody can hear you except for the people who are in your group. But you can still get the main chat and you can still hear, like when I type something, can everyone hear that sound that when someone's typed in the chat? You can always hear that in the background. So that can help you in case something's going wrong. You can hear people raising their hands, and you can always have a check on this as well. Cool. So that should be a quick rundown.
So I have a question. So that means we will be in one main room and we will have to, like the same question actually Tara asked, I think. No, Tara asked. So we will have to create our own separate groups. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So at the start of the lab, depending on how many demos are going to go, you go into breakout groups.
Isn't it easy like? Yeah, isn't it easy like? Can't we like create separate? Sessions in Blackboard Ultra? Isn't it easier? And ask students to join the group that they said their report to, so they know our names, right? So I think they will.
So do you mean have one Blackboard session for each class of,
no,
20 students or one for each student?
No, not one for each student, one for each demo. So like we have here eight, right? 8 or 9. So each, so I think Thursday and Friday we have, so we create sessions for each of us, and students in their time slot join our session only. Because they know our name already.
Vicky to comment?
Yeah, I think.
So you mean you want to create like a session based on lab demo, right? It's like one lab demo has one session.
I think that's less, because I think this will be a little confusing. I feel because I just feel like that. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's confusing to me as well.
Yeah, I agree with that
Uh,
as well. It would be less confusing if each of us has our own session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
I
one
think it's
point to
already
note is
separated if you look at the original sections. Like if you go to the other page, you can see all the labs are separated into different groups, like F14A and F14B. So tomorrow afternoon, I think we can just go to our individual section and the student will join. Then we can start marking.
Yeah, because my
You guys get what I
concern,
mean?
yeah, my concern is if we create a session for each lab demo, maybe other students will, join the session, but we don't know if that student is in the list or not. Probably, a student who has a marking on Friday and he can come on Thursday.
But
And
Yeah.
we have the
Actually,
list, so we have the list. We can show that.
yeah, but sometimes we cannot check it, like we don't have time to check the student list.
But
No,
we can see
we
in
see
the
the link.
moderator's room.
We see the list first, and then we start Viva of that group. So I think we can show.
I think if sorry.
actually,
So I think if the student joins the wrong group, you can just ask him to leave and then join the correct one.
Yeah.
For example, if they join the Thursday one instead, but they are in the Friday one, so we just ask them to leave on Thursday one and ask them to come back on the Friday section.
I
Also
think
one-
if Wiki can if Wiki can send an email to students asking them to join, not to test joining, so they just join in their exact time slot when their time slot starts. I think most will. Don't you think that most will follow it?
Yep. One point I'll just butt in here just for a second is that even if we have one demo, one group of students, you probably still will have to do these breakout groups. Otherwise, you're going to be marking a student in front of everyone. So, but then you'll just have one breakout group. So it'll just be a breakout group here with you in it, and you can draw the students in one by one.
Not him. I'm asking
Yeah. I think that
one.
is good.
One session is like 15 minutes, one student, right? No, there are no other students in that session. So like if we complete that session, so I think 15 minutes is enough to mark one student. So like if we finish that student, then if that next student exactly join in the right time in his slot, then do you think there will be a confusion?
Yeah, so there won't be a big group of students. They'll just be one-on-one, and you
One
would need
or
to
two,
break
yeah,
up groups.
maximum two, I think, in that case.
So they can wait here and then we do a separate group on one-on-one. Anyway. So what if a student is late? For example, if it's scheduled 1 to 1:15 and then he's late, he's 5 minutes late, so
Yeah, they will have to come in time.
yeah, that's the point.
Anyway, it will delay all the process, right? If one student comes late.
Yes.
So I think because that's I did for 3104 we did marking, so that's how we did actually for that one.
Okay, so I want to know everyone's idea. So,
Yeah, has anyone
Okay.
else done other courses using Blackboard? So do you mind going through 3104, how that works?
Yeah, so 3104 we had this. So mid semester it happened where so we had we gave questions via Ultraboard and 2 demos marked them students. So so each group had a different. So there were 3 parallel sessions. So each parallel session had each separate Ultraboard session for them. So students were informed, they were asked to join exactly on their time. Actually, most students they were very punctual. Some got late, but it didn't affect that much actually. Yeah, I thought that was quite good.
And at most, there was a tiny bit of overlap if one student you know, it was a
Yeah,
little bit
then
early,
in that
or
case,
you were marking
yeah, in
someone
that
late.
case, I ask them to like, because one thing is if we remove that student can't join to the exact same session again. So like he can't join again. So
Yeah.
that means we will have to kindly ask them to leave, so then they can join later. If we remove, so that person cannot join again. That's another thing.
That's great to know.
Okay.
I've been doing 2141. They do a big class approach, so that's just like 2 hours. All the students are in there, like 30 students, and then it's also a mixture of help and marking. So it means that you know, as they go through, you just have this big list of students, and then usually there's 2 or 3 lab demos in there, and they just go through them one by one. I'm not saying that's a better or worse system, but that's just how they do it. The pros of that were that if you know you were struggling marking some student, you had other demos in there to help you and, you know, to mark other students. And the cons were it was just a bit more haphazard, because you have students waiting to get marked for long times, and some students take a long time, some take short times. Yeah, so there's benefits and cons to that method as well. Anyone else have any other courses that use Blackboard?
I think the theme you have, you told us like very good idea. I'm okay with that.
What was that, sorry?
I'm saying I got your, like, you know, the thing you have said, so I'm like fine with that.
About 2141, how they run it?
I'm saying, like, you know, making that breakout groups and like then working that way.
Yeah, but I think if we're doing this session where each student has their allocated time, we wouldn't need groups. The only way you need groups is that if you have like 30 students in one session. I didn't realize that we had a big list of everyone with their 15-minute time. So yeah, if we only have one student in our session, there shouldn't be any need, unless we share, you know, etc.
As long as students are on time, then I think it should work now.
Big assumptions.
These are the assumptions, yeah.
Is it a must to use Blackboard? How about students just upload their experiments, taking screenshots and upload it on
Come on, Wahida. Where's the teaching?
Sorry?
Yeah, like, of course they can. And I think they have already uploaded their lab report, but I think this is just for us to check if they've done their work and if they understand some of their results.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if they have incomplete results, we can help them, you know, answer if they haven't, you know, filled out their report as well as we'd like.
And also to give some feedback here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have received some reports from students, and yeah, some of them cannot complete all sections. So actually, we can help them. So I already, you know, provide all of you with my suggested answers. So you can find the circuit in that report. And if student has any question, you can answer, you know, their questions based on that answer.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I think maybe next week we will go for a new marking session.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be honest, now it's a little bit confused because of there are too many sessions, and I have to create different sessions like for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So I think it's better to change it.
Okay.
Okay, so I think everyone agrees, right?
Yeah.
So what's our session now?
Just by the way, Vicky, one thing. So if you, I mean, you don't have to create it for 2 days. You can create for 1 day, and you just have to change the time for Friday. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Because now the list is too long. That's the reason, because if students say a very long, like many options for timing, and they probably, you know, access to a wrong session. So that's the reason. So next time I will go for a new the new session management. I think that's better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think my internet connection is not stable.
Mine is not stable as well.
Whose
So
alarm is this?
yeah,
That was mine. It's my bedtime.
okay. So there is another thing. So I think before the marking, for example, tomorrow, so I think it's better to remind students about the marking session is coming. So what do you think? I think it's better to send an email. Just remind
Post
them
on
to
announcements.
yeah, announcement.
Do you want each of us to send our students an email, or do you just want to like send an announcement to all students at once?
I already sent one announcement in the course page. So do you think it's necessary to send, an email to students or not?
I think if you put it in the announcement on the course page, it should have been sent to students.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I think the night before, I think that's enough as a reminder. You could do one tomorrow morning, but as has been said, I think students will take it seriously. I think they want to get marked, so I'm sure they'll have that in their calendar.
Yeah. Okay. I think they already received my announcement. And for the late submission, so I think it may happen for the first online live. And for the late submission, we have to take like punishment, like 15% mark off per day. It's like because today is the deadline, so if they submit their report tomorrow, so we will take 15% off from the mark. Yeah, I think it's reasonable. And I think tomorrow we will have some questions from students because I think they found this lab is harder than before because before we go for hardware experiments and now this is Simulink, and I think they spent more than 3 hours to finish this because it's new to them. Yeah, so if they have any question and you cannot solve, you can contact me by maybe WhatsApp. I will be there all the time. Yeah, so I can join your session and I can help.
So how they have to submit the report?
They will submit their reports through email. So
Because I got one report of one student, so he sent the report on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I guess. Yeah, but I haven't got any other reports. So they are supposed to send us the report before midnight or before tomorrow, before the session.
It's midnight today, midnight.
Ooh, I got two. I just checked my emails.
Yeah.
And I got the announcement, Vicky. It's been sent to everyone.
Yeah.
Because we received them as well.
Okay, that's good. Because I already, told all students about the deadline, the due date, and everyone can access to that document. And today is the deadline for the lab report. So that is 11, 50.
55.
Yeah, so that is the midnight today.
Okay, good, thanks.
So they will send it on our email address, right?
Sorry?
They will send the
they'll send
report
it to
on
our
our
personal
email address, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But why don't they upload? Why can't they upload on Moodle?
Yeah, I think that might be a good solution for maybe next week or the
Yeah,
following
instead of-
weeks.
Yeah, because
Because we're gonna get 30 emails tonight.
Yeah, I
okay.
haven't received any, but if they upload on Moodles, it will be like, they can see all the students have uploaded. I mean, it will be like.
Yeah. I want to know because if they submit their reports to Moodle, so but we have to mark them. So different lab demo is in charge of different students. So I think it's not easy to choose, that student from, So.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might. I'll share my screen to show you how we do it for 2134, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're thinking about, Wahida.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Because that's easy, but yeah, Vicky's point is right. It's hard to find students because there are like 50 plus students, so you have to go through each student that's allocated to you.
Yeah, but I'm also not sure. I don't know how to set up Moodle things. So I'm just going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so this is for 2134. I'll just go down. So they have this TuteLab report submission that they submit all their files as one zip file. So as you can see, we had 140. So I can go to view all submissions. So this is just for viewing.
If you
so we'll have that. Yeah, it's just loading. And then what I do is I just go.
Grade.
And you go, yeah, it's a grade. And then once you're in here, you can just search them. So I might search for Tim.
It's easy to mark
and I can go. And then I can put in their grade, and I can also put comments on their submission. But yes, I'm not sure how we're going to be marking them. So we'll just be looking at their PDF, right, of their lab report, and then in this we'll be seeing what their actual circuit looks like, and then will we just record a mark out of, according to the marking criteria, and then send that to you, Vicky, at the end of the lab, or is there a shared sheet that we'll enter that in?
I prefer to give the report back so they can have access, right? They will see the grade and also the comments.
Yeah, so they'll see this grade. They'll see feedback, which you can write in here, but you can also click. Sorry, that's my cookie clock. You can write here, and you can you can write in a comment the different parts, or you can stamp if it's correct or incorrect. I'm just gonna have to remove these from the actual students. And then, so that's their original one you can download, and then they can.
The screen is freezing. It's frozen to me.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Can you see it now?
Still freezing.
It's just the Moodle.
I might try sharing again. Yeah, please let me know if that ever happens. I'm not sure how strong my internet is. So you can see now the Moodle?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see how up here you can search for a user, and you can select there from the list. And here you can also write in a comment for the user, and you can actually go through their lab report. And you can also assign them a grade in this column here. But I'm not sure.
This looks very good.
It looks good, but I'm not sure how complicated it is, is there a point of us giving them a grade here if we're going to be inputting the grades manually into a sheet as well? In the 15 minutes we have, we probably won't be grading this sheet. We probably will be using this to be looking at their submission, right? And we'll probably give them feedback in person about what they got for each section. So, but that's just food for thought of how we've done that in other courses. In 3104, they also have lab reports. Do you know how they're being marked?
3104? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, or is it? Which is
I'm
3104?
not. 3104, they don't have lab reports. They just have a project.
What course is that, sorry?
3104, DSP.
Oh, DSP. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about electronics.
No,
Does anyone
no.
in here do electronics? 3106, I think. No. Yeah, I'm not sure what they do then for their versions, but yeah.
Yeah, I did a few years ago, but
So okay, so in that course, so it means you help students in the tutorial, not tutorials, in the lab, and they will submit their reports later after the lab, right? And you don't need to like talk about what is correct, what is wrong to them in the lab. Am I right?
This is for two. You're talking to me, Vicky?
Yeah, it's like what you just showed for that course.
Yep. No, so that has dual marking. So they get marked for that's 2134, which is very theory intensive. So all their marking and answers they get marked by us. It takes about 10 minutes. It's a very quick mark. We just go through and just grade them and give small comments. And then once a week, they have a 15-minute session where they go through their report and they explain. It's more of the understanding part. So their theory and their understanding are graded separately. And when they're doing the live streaming, the Blackboard session, that's where they'd show their live simulations. But yeah, I don't know if it's a good or bad system.
Okay, yeah, I got this. I will have a look at the Moodle system. Yeah, I will find the way to make it happen. Like they can submit it on Moodle, and we can mark them later. I mean, give them some feedback and the grade to them. So I think it's better than the email because you have to download the email and also reply them with the file, and it's not easy to add comments. I think Moodle is better.
yes,
So I just got a lab report and it looks really, really good. People have really done good jobs on them.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Vicky, can you also do this for the pre-lab?
Yeah.
Because the pre-lab also,
Yeah, I know.
took so much time to download it and then mark it and then give it back. Why emails is so annoying.
Okay, yeah, I got this. Yeah, I will have a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much better using Moodle, I think, in this case.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely for pre-lab.
Yeah. Okay. So Tim, could you share that report to this meeting?
Yeah.
Just for other, lab demos to have.
Let's
to
do
know.
maybe we could do a mock marking or.
Yeah. Oh, great.
It'll just take 1 minute. I'll just. So I'll just share my screen for this bit. Just for an extra bit. So I'm just going to go to share files and I'm going to click add file. So note that it's only image, PowerPoint, PDF. And I'm just going to upload this PDF here. And it might take a while because it's probably a large PDF. Okay, and then I can click on it and I can click share now. Here we go. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you zoom in?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Oh, sorry. I clicked stop sharing. I think that's why I stopped.
Yeah, and also note if you write something down, click on the select to select it and then delete it, because if you draw something with the pencil and you do a couple of lines and you click the erase button, it clears all of them at once.
Oh,
just
so
you
everyone
know.
can draw. Okay.
Everyone can draw and everyone can clear. Yeah, it's a messy system. Yeah, so I'm not sure how we should do the marking. So maybe because we're going to have this PDF open for us, you know, on our computers, and then, but it's probably more valuable to share their screen to go through that.
So are we going to mark on this PDF, like, so that they would know their marks too?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we're gonna put our the marks on Excel sheet too, right?
Yeah, so we can put the mark over here, like let them know.
But the problem is that I don't think we can, A, anything that we draw on this won't be saved to it, and B, I don't think we can share and have them share their screen at the same time. So maybe it'd be good. Maybe for this week, we'll just do it by email, but maybe next week, what we could do, I'll just share my screen. Maybe we could have it so in this tab of our computer, we can see them, they can share their content, and then we have Moodle in here.
Yeah.
And then we can have it so we split the screen. Sorry, this might look a bit weird. Okay, can you see that now? So we can have it so we split screen, so we can scroll through their PDF and we can mark it as we go, and then we can see their demonstration in this window here, where they show their things, and then once we're done, we can submit this, and then they'll see all those annotations and the marks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an idea for next week, but it's a little bit more complicated.
Just questions. So tomorrow after the presentation, do you tell them the marks they are, so the marks we give them, or so do you tell them the marks or not?
Yeah, I mean, for tomorrow, it's like, I think it's hard to mark their report at the same time because like we don't have another screen to show the report. So I think it's better to like ask them to explain and to show the circuit and how to run it and to solve them
so
problems.
The presentation?
Yes, so we can ask them to show. Yeah.
So the presentation is 20%, right?
Yeah, that is 20%. So we give the mark.
Yeah, so do we tell them?
Yeah, so it's like the mark is for this 20% this time, only for this time. So next time I would change, you know, how we run the assessment. But this time I think we will ask them to explain, and based on their presentation, we give them a mark. And for the report, this time it's separate. But we will let them know what's the problem in their reports.
Okay. So we have to mark the reports before they present it, in that case.
Yeah, it could be after.
Also, Vicky, how about like you send us the report as well, so that we can open that report like concurrently in other screens, because in case, as Tim said, that you cannot like write on the here, because it won't be saving, like, right? So we can like open that PDF and mark them and save that PDF too.
Yeah, but the students will send that to you, right? But that'll be on your email.
Okay.
So Vicky, so for tomorrow's marking session, can you tell us the marking criteria?
Yes. I think that is in the suggested answer.
Are you talking about the report or the online marking session?
Okay, you mean online markings for the presentation, right? Okay.
Yeah, for the presentation. I think it would be good if we have a fixed criteria, so all of us are having the same marking standard to fair for students.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I want to give 20% on the presentation is I want to make sure they do their experiments on themselves instead of copy others' codes. So I will give the mark based on the understanding. So for example, for the first question, that is DSB, and there are several questions in the menu. Okay, give me a second. So for example, like what fraction of DSB signal power carries the message signal information? And maybe they have answered that question in the report, but we can ask why you have this answer. And also, and for example, for the envelope detection, like the output is not correct because the recovered message is not original message. They will observe this by their experiments. And they also need to know why and explain it to us. Yes. So that is, but I mean, I haven't gave a mark for each question, or we don't have the question bank for this. But I think it's like you can, have a feeling about their understandings and give a mark based on their understandings. So for example, if they show a very good report and code, but they cannot explain or they cannot answer question, so it is possible because that student copy others' work. Yeah, so that is 20% of the mark. So actually, I want to know for other courses, do we have mark for presentation?
Yep. So 2134, as I said before, that's literally split up into a theory and a practical. So the theory gets marked separately. So it's usually the day before it gets marked, and then the practical gets marked the day after. And then in 2141, they get marked together. But they don't do lab reports in 2141. It's mainly just demonstrating working circuits. So we assess them on the working circuits and then on understanding questions. And those both go into part of their grade.
Okay.
And 3104?
So the course I'm studying right now, they just put more questions to the lab sections. That's it. So there's no presentation. We just answer more questions instead.
Which one is that?
4612.
So how about the mark distribution for that course?
I'm not exactly sure, but so they just asked us to do a screenshot on the process once we do the lab, because we do it on a software base. So same as this one, we just take screenshots and then explain what we did. So pretty similar, but there's no presentation.
Okay. So do they give you mark based on, how you explain your circuit?
Yes, sort of. But the lab is it's not that very intense. So it's more like practicing the software and be more familiar with the power system. So yeah. So they just want us to see how we actually practice on them, and they don't really care about the result. They do care about the result, but they want to show we actually play on them. That's it. So I think it's two different courses. Yeah. Because 3113 is more theory intense, so they actually need to prove they understand. But in my course, they just want you to play with it. So it's different.
Okay, so I'm thinking about like put report and the theoretical thing and also practical thing together. So it's like next time we can mark the report. At the same time, we can ask them to run their simulation. And maybe like next time we can combine this 80%. I combine the report and also the practical thing. Because I think now it's not easy to put some like criteria on the presentation because everyone has different feelings. Like the standard is not that constant because it's presentation, right? Because maybe some students are not good at talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe it's better to put report, marking, and also presentation practical simulation together next time for next lab. Because actually this is what we did before for the lab 1 and lab 2. Like we look at their lab note and we ask them to explain. Okay, I think maybe we should, just, do this for this time, and we should have a meeting after this marking session, like this time, and yeah, we will know like everyone's
Yeah, we'll have
feeling.
good updates.
Yeah, how to mark.
And we'll let everyone know in the first week it's going to be a bit rough. There'll be technical glitches and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think also just being a bit more lenient, I guess, in the first week because they don't really understand what we're expecting of them, or maybe how to use MATLAB properly.
Yeah.
So in the lab, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 sections. So should we ask them to demonstrate each one of those circuits, right?
Yes.
They should have a file for each one of those, and then that means we have around about 3 minutes, just to quickly get them to run it and view some outputs, and ask them some questions. It's gonna be tight. We'll get there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see how we go tomorrow, and then. Yeah.
Oh, also, just so everyone knows, this is funny actually. You won't be able to hear when they play something from MATLAB. So if they're playing the audio, unless they somehow like record it on their phone and play it back, there's no real way for us to hear it through our speakers because most computers, they reject noise that's coming from them. So I'm not sure if that'll pose an issue tomorrow. I don't think it will, but just in case you're expecting to hear something, you probably won't.
I think maybe we can look at the spectrum.
Yeah. So just looking at the visual waveform or the spectrum, we'll just trust them to tell you.
Yeah, because
I can hear it fine.
Because next live, I already, taken the audio part off. Because I think that maybe it's too hard for them to complete that part.
It's too hard.
Yeah, so yeah, only for this live we will have this. But I mean for this one, I think for this part, audio part, we shouldn't be very strict. Because I think some students are new to Simulink.
Should we just cut it for this part because it actually was very, very hard to get running. I'm not sure that the speech and the unknown signals, I think, and like looking at the lab report, I know we're running out of time as well. But I think looking at the lab report that was just sent, this one, and this is probably like sent early, so this is probably like the most they could do. They've left the speech signals and unknown signals blank. And you can completed all the other parts of the lab.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi.
I have something to do, so can I leave the session?
Yes, you can. I will let you
Thanks.
know what's the discussion.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
No, we should wrap up now.
Okay, actually, I thought about this today. I mean, for this one, we will try our best to give them marks. I mean, because this one is hard.
Yeah.
So if they understand, if they know how to demodulate, that's okay. So if they haven't finished, demodulation for the audio, they cannot let it, happen. We can still give them mark, but we cannot cut this from, the marking. We can let them know how to make this, run. But if they haven't done this, that's okay. So we cannot just skip this part, I think.
But if they haven't done it, we give them marks for that section, or we show them how to do it and not give them marks, because there are students who have done that part, the ones who did attend the help sessions.
Yes.
So there's probably going to be 10 or 15 students who do know how to do it and the rest don't.
I mean, for the audio part, I think we should give them mark if they understand the theory. But for the unknown signals, I think they can do this because I already provide all information like the sampling rate. So I think it's not hard to do the unknown signal.
Or we just mark them as we normally would and just accept that most students in the lab will lose that certain amount of marks. And maybe you can scale the marks accordingly, or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because it will be consistent across everyone, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, later I will look at the average mark for this lab and to make it consistent with, the first and the second lab.
Yeah, perfect.
And also
so should we just mark them as normal then?
Yes.
So show them how to do it if they haven't done it, but still mark them down even if they don't know how to do it, and just explain that there will be some issues like that in the first week.
Yes. And I think we need to let them know like this part is hard.
Yeah. Which is probably good. It's probably good that we've hit a limit, So hopefully there should always be a part of the lab that students can't complete. That's always pushing them.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, is there anything else we need to go through? Anyone else have any questions? No?
Okay, I think that's it. So
should we call it a day? Thanks for that.
Yeah.
So will we have another session like this tomorrow or in the coming week?
Sorry?
Will we have any other session like this?
Yeah, I think so. We will have a session to talk about, how did we feel about the first live marking online.
Okay.
And also, I'm going to, do some changes on the management. So if I have done that, I will let everyone know, like how it will work. So maybe it's better. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So how will we let you know the marks? Will you be sharing an online sheet or Excel sheet, or we keep our marks in our own Excel sheets and send to you later?
I think you can put the mark into the shared, Excel sheet.
Yep.
Is that one?
Is it a shared? Is there a shared one?
The old one, the previous one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we will use the same one for the term.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will look at the average grade and to scale it if it is necessary.
Yeah. And also, we're past fail 2, so I don't think it matters too much for the students, what their exact marks are. Like, as long as they pass that lab, it won't affect them too much. but don't tell them that.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
we'll
think
probably so maybe like Friday or Monday,
Hmm.
depending, Vicky, on how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably
Great.
Friday, after the last session of marking. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, is that all then?
Okay, I think that's all.
Okay,
All
thanks
right.
everyone. Thanks, Vicky. Hope
Thank
everyone goes for everyone tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
给你切的菠萝没有那个杂质的那种，我用网上的方法学。
你是那种条条吗？不是吧？
我是按照那个纹路切的。
真棒，怎么你这么厉害？哎呀，头疼。你也吃一点吧。
我吃了好多，我吃了好多牙倒了。好吃吗？我觉得水果的味道就很神奇。你把兔子拔下来，我看看。你把裤子你就这样待着，然后面过去，面过去我看看。看看。OK。再看看今天。害羞是吧？今天要甜蜜。你还有工作吗？哦，你的表情像含了一口屁。
屎，不是屎了，是屁了。
坐在这里。哦。你的脚那么臭，这垫子会变臭的。变臭吧。没关系的，不要太有压力，都会越来越好的，好吗？好吗？我要放屁了，放。
你一定要这样放。
放完了。
还有点声音呢。
问的不是屁眼，这才是。
这不是啊。
不是你会问的超过。
没关麦。不是没。
没事，你